legislation at the state level, not in Congress. A couple years ago, Congress actually passed 57 bills total. 57 bills total. That meant that they were actually bottling up postal naming legislation because to hell with the other guy. That's how broken Congress has become. In the House of Delegates, we deal with around 2,500 bills a year and pass around 700 to 900.
45 days.
In 45 days or 60 days, depending on the year. So you see that the states, especially Virginia, is very different from Congress right now. Here's the thing. We all agree that the issues we're working on here are vitally important for the Commonwealth. But if you can't actually articulate them, if you can't deliver it, if you can't lobby for it, if you can't get the ball across the finish line, all of our good feelings and well-intentions mean nothing. All right? They mean nothing. So, let me give you the story. 2 years ago, I started something called the Virginia Environment Renewable Energy Caucus. My background's in environmental law. I worked in the Clinton White House, the Obama White House, was a member of Governor Kane's cabinet as the head of congressional and federal affairs for 4 years before I ran for the House of Delegates. And I noticed one thing about the environmental community, and that was that it was a 74-headed monster that didn't talk to each other. And they came together on one document. And it's this beautiful, gorgeous, glossy, multicolored, well-made document laying out all of their issues for the General Assembly session. And they give it to us on January 2. If you give me a document on January 2nd and I go into House of Delegate session on January 11th, what you've given me is worthless. Worthless. But it looks great, it's glossy, it's on recycled paper. I don't care. I need 4 months to set up a coalition to get what I want to get passed through the House of Delegates. Because right now, we're dealing with the General Assembly that has been gerrymandered to oblivion. The fact is that we are a 52, 53, 54% Democratic state when you vote statewide. But why are we a 66 to 34 Republican majority in the House of Delegates? Gerrymandering with a laser-like scalpel. That's what's going on. So if I'm going to get anything passed, I need time. And I need time to roll the ball up the mountainside. All right? So what you need to be able to do, and that's rule one of lobbying, rule one of advocacy at the state level. Give yourself sufficient time to accomplish what you need to accomplish, because not everybody's on site on the halls of on the Capitol Hill all year round. They're in Galax, they're in Grundy. If the most important person you want to talk to on appropriations is in the Chesapeake area, you've got to go to Chesapeake. And you've got to give yourself the time to create the relationship to be accepted when you go into that office in Chesapeake. So, what is effective lobbying? It's basically making friends. It's building relationships. It's building trust. As a legislator, I need to know that when you come to me, you're speaking on behalf of yourself and a larger group. I need to be able to trust what you're telling me is true. And I need to know that if you don't know something, you'll get the answer. And I need to have something that I'm actively working on. I can't just sort of, hey, it's great to talk to you. Oh, it's wonderful. I love the sky. It's so beautiful. Marble is great here in the state capitol. These are worthless meetings. They feel nice, but they're worthless meetings. Every touch you have in the legislature, you need a deliverable. And I'll get into that in a second. The don'ts of lobbying. There are 4 of them. Do not go to a legislator's office and say, oh, I only meet with the delegate. Oh, I only meet with the senator. I can't meet with you, staffer. We have one staff in the House of Delegates. Usually that staffer is brilliant. Mine is. And we rely on them to be our chief of staff and our policy person on a great deal of what we work on. And so, if you're meeting with a staffer, you're meeting with the delegate. So don't be mean to staff. That's sort of rule one is don't be a jerk. You'd be surprised how many jerks there are.
Yeah.
Don't be that person. 2, do not ever, ever say, I gave you $5,000 last year. You should listen to everything I'm saying and do exactly what I tell you. That is reason 1 through 1,000 why I will never speak to you again. Number 3. This is a big one. Don't lie. If you don't know something, say it. Say it. Thank you, John. And say, I'll find out. You're sitting next to Barbara. She does that all the time. She interrupts. Say it.
Only if your health and welfare are at stake.
Say it. And then 4, and be respectful of the time, or the lack of time, that a legislator has. And let me explain. In the General Assembly, I will get up around 6 o'clock in the morning because I have to be at a House of Delegates subcommittee meeting at 7 a.m. And then I'll be in subcommittee meetings or committee meetings until around 11 o'clock. And then around 11 o'clock, I have to go to my caucus meeting, which will begin around 11:15. And then at exactly noon every day, I'm in session for either an hour to 14 hours. And then in the evening, I have meetings, I have receptions, I have dinners I have to go to. Part of the reason why I am so obese is I go to 3 dinners a night. My wife says, you don't have to eat at all of them. It's like, I don't have to. But be respectful of the time. And I'm going to teach you guys something today, and we're all going to practice it, about how to actually be respectful of that time. So those are the 4 things. 1, don't be a jerk. 2, don't dismiss staff. 3, don't say I've given you money, and now you're my indentured servants. And 4, don't disrespect the time that's necessary. All right. There are 4 things. So what you do is you're basically building trust. You're building relationships. All right. When you make that touch, you're doing 4 things. You're saying who and where are you from? Who you are and where you're from. 2, what are you coming to talk about? 3, why does it matter to the legislator? And then 4, what's the follow-up? And the follow-up can be as basic as I'm setting up a meeting for me to sit down with you at X time with your staff to get in more details. Or it could be, I'm going to get you this information you need so we can move forward on the legislation. Or I'm going to be working with you on getting in front of X number of legislators to push the ball forward on your bill. But it's just that simple. Who are you and where are you from? What's the issue? Why is it important to the legislator? And what's the follow-up? And one thing you have to have a leave behind. You have to have, at best, a 1 or 2 page document that lays out all 4 of those things, or all 3 of those first 3 things. Who, what you're with, where you're from, the number, like what the issue is, and then why it's important to that individual legislator. Those are the things you have to do, and that's it. Now let me explain one quick story, then we're going to actually do this. Someone who I adore, who I have been very close with for a very long time, a very dynamic Latino activist in Arlington, once told me that in order for him to lobby his members of Congress, he needed to march 210 miles from Pennsylvania to D.C. in order to have, and this is a quote, the moral authority to speak to his congresspeople. And I started laughing. What the hell are you blabbering on about? Call them up. They're your legislators. So people get lost sometimes in, wow, look at all the marble. Oh, the gold leaf. Oh, the tobacco leaves on the friezes. It's gorgeous. I can't talk to my legislators. Horse hockey. These are your legislators. They're your activists. They're your advocates. It's your job to engage them properly and to get your and our issues across the finish line. All right, now, last part. Everybody stand up. Not you guys. You know. All right. Okay, everybody move against the wall. Make a big circle. Around the chairs. This is an everybody thing. No one is sitting. All right. Oh, thank you, Jim. Thanks. You know who needs this more than anybody? Bruce Nielsen. So get him against the wall. There we go. He moved. Good for him. All right. Now, everybody in front of the podium here. Don't go back this way. Everybody up here. Reverend, go on up here. On this side of the podium. This side of the podium. You guys come over here too. All right. Okay. In front of the food too. All right, everybody get a buddy. Get one buddy.
Okay, so my buddies is their buddies.
Everybody get one buddy. All right. Each of you, I want between the two of you, I want you to choose who is the state senator.
Are you too busy doing that to do this? Or?
Well, I am busy
Right?
with it.
And the other person is the lobbyist. And lobbyist is a good word. Because you are fighting for something you care about.
Okay.
You are John.
Okay.
You are fighting for TANF. You are fighting for affordable housing. You are fighting for a social safety net that will arise all of us in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So you are a proud lobbyist. All right. Barbara can attest to this. We might have 30 seconds to talk to you. We might have a minute and a half to talk to you. And sometimes, the best meeting you'll get in the Virginia General Assembly is walking and talking with the legislator from point A to point B.
In the elevator.
In the elevator speech. Actually, the elevator speech is the wrong thing because you don't want to talk in an elevator.